Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look in this Soulforge, tell you what's good and bad in there, going to show you a really cool Tower of Doom event team and a Underspire team too. But first of all, let's take a look at this weekly event troop, the Spirit of Luck. Sounds intriguing, let's see what it does. Valpatia troop, choose one, give magic +2 life to an ally, then barrier them, or create 10 gems of a chosen ally's mana colour, then enchant them. So the first one, some extra life and a barrier. Not fantastic. But the second option for me is a little bit better. It's actually quite a lot better. Or create 10 gems of a chosen ally's mana colour, then enchant them. So if there's a lot of gems on the board, creating another 10 will give you a chance to not only charge them up, but get an extra turn at the same time. But the enchant could be a little bit wasted though, because if you get a lot of mana from that, they're going to be charged up. So yes, it's not great. Let's have a look at the traits. Gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell. Start battles with 25% mana and immune to mana burn, mana drain, and mana steal is okay. Trouble with this sort of thing is there's a lot of other troops that do similar things in a possibly better way, but it's not diabolical. I'm going to give it a... I was going to give it 4. I wanted to give it 5. I don't do 0.5s. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. And we'll give it a fairly respectable 5 out of 10. As ever, get these things to mythic level if you can. Always good to have another troop at a mythic level. Anyway, my neighbour knocked on my door at 2 AM this morning and said, "Look, I can't sleep." "Well, it's your lucky day," I said. "We've got a party going on in here. Come on in." Oh, yes. Right, so let's take a look in this Soulforge. Let's take a look in the soul of the forge, the forge of the soul. Start with the weapons, then we'll look at the troops. This is the weapon that's in the Tower of Doom shop, so don't get it from here. Quite expensive at 800 diamonds, as well as 50,000 souls, 2,000 bluey things, jewels, whatever the blue one is. Can't think, it's too early. Been up 20 minutes. And Celestials. So yeah, don't get it from here. Get it from the Tower of Doom shop, because it's better that way. You're helping out your guild. You can gain all the other stuff. You can gain the battle sigils and other stuff as well. So definitely worth getting it from the shop. And it's better that way as well, because diamonds are harder to get than gems. And this way you save your thingies, diamonds. Oh, crikey, get things right in a minute. Alright, let's take a look at the weapons then. Not going to go over all the ones that are here on a regular basis, like these ones here. Okay. Any new weapons here in this weapons Soulforge shopkeeper? Say every time, no Wonder Stars. If you haven't got it already, get the Wonder Stars. Amazing weapon. If there's nothing essential in the shop this week that's going to be basically gone by next week, get Wonder Stars, because it's the best weapon in the game, and it is here every single week. But yeah, absolutely fantastic weapon. Just get it if you haven't got it already. Still looking for some new weapons here. Still looking. I know it's a new kingdom, Valpatia, or newish, but yay! Here we go. They're hiding at the bottom. Orb of Valpatia. This is kind of like the anti-Valpatia weapon in a way. Remove all green gems. That's the colour that Valpatia troops tend to like the most. Then deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by gems removed. If the enemy is from Valpatia, or if the battle is in Valpatia, deal double damage. So not the kind of thing you're going to use that much, if at all, but very cheap to buy, a mere 75 diamonds. And these kind of weapons are always worth picking up. You're going to reach a certain stage in the game where basically you're going to need a certain amount of weapons at a certain level to upgrade your power levels and things like that. So always worth picking up for that reason alone. Foxglove. Kind of an underrated weapon this. Do like it quite a lot. Choose one. Convert all green gems to a chosen colour. That's pretty mad already, so you can look out for a 4 match anywhere on those colours, or explode a gem and create 10 green gems. The thing about this is it uses blue and purple. So the second option, creating green gems, it only comes into play if basically you got a troop or two in your team that requires a lot of green, or just green in general, because it does create a leaf storm when you cast it as well, when you got this upgraded. So you can get a lot of green from the second option, especially if you can explode that gem. If they're like a, say, a green potion on the board, that's going to cause a ridiculous amount of green. That's really good. But the first option is pretty good as well. So yeah, decent weapon now. I do like it. Foxfire Tome. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Valpatia allies, then create a mix of 6 blue and green gems per each Valpatia ally. Uses yellow and purple, creates blue and green, so make sure 1 or 2 at least of those Valpatia allies use blue and green. Otherwise you're making all that mana for nothing, and that ain't no good to anyone. Skulking Shot. It's a bow and arrow thing. What's a skulking shot? Do you sort of skulk up? How do you skulk? Is that like a crouched sort of crafty moving motion while looking a bit unhappy about it, or like skulking, a bit like sulking? So you put a miserable face while creeping carefully towards them and then shoot them. And deal magic +4 damage to the enemy boosted by green allies and wargear allies, and consider themselves skulkingly shot. Right, but nothing great about it. What else we got? We have a Foxfang. Explode magic +1 green gems. Grant a random status effect to all Valpatia allies. Then summon a Valpatia troop. So a nice summoning explodey weapon. A really good weapon. Just save these kind of weapons. These summon explode weapons. Still use them now. Still use them in Guild Wars. I had my first ever Guild Wars defeat in the new one yesterday. Sort of not in this Guild Wars, in the entire new style of Guild Wars. Undefeated up until now, and finally lost one yesterday to the Palace team. They got a dream start as one. It's one of those really good teams. This is, you know, I don't mind when you lose them sort of games because there's nothing you could do about it. They started off with Leprechaun, so I had my turn. There was nothing particular I could do of any note on my first turn. They cast Leprechaun and it filled up their Chrysanthrax in one cast, and then Chrysanthrax cast, recharged itself and done it again. I was already down to 1 troop. It's like, okay, well that's that game done then. I hung in there though. I did actually take him down to 2 troops in the end, because you should never give up in Guild Wars. I've made some mad comebacks in certain games. Anyway, I've diverted away from the beaten path. What's on about? Oh yes, because I said about that being an explodey summoning weapon and being good for summons and letting you hang in games where basically should be difficult sometimes. Anyway, like I say, never give up. Anyway, what does this do? Trickster's Slice. Deal magic +3 damage to the first 2 enemies boosted by Valpatia allies. So, basic weapon with a damage with a boost. And that is it. So nothing too essential from here today. So a good chance to actually grab the Wonder Stars if you haven't got it already. Right. On to the troops. Let's see what's going on with these troops. As ever, always go through these summoning stones, especially if you're a newer player. You're looking for goblins, you're looking for empowered troops. They're really good. Goblins always get an extra turn. Can be really, really annoying. And empowered troops are so good in games for you when you control the team, as well as Guild Wars style teams like a Lamash 2 here. Converts yellow to purple. Does damage to the weakest enemy. Starts battles with full mana. That's what empowered means. And another one here. Ear Cattle. Converts all blue to yellow and conjures a life storm. Starts battles with full mana. That's one of the troops I used in Guild Wars. Works most of the time. Can be a little bit of a hindrance if you don't get the blue to yellow, but certainly worth rolling with, and very, very good as a defensive troop as well, because it can just give your team an absolutely flying start, and it's all about surprising the enemy sometimes as defense in Guild Wars. Anyway, who's next? Anybody in yellow? Bork is good, but kind of level based. The better your level, the better it gets. Destroys magic +1 gems, then creates 3 bomb gems, so kind of ineffective if you're a newer player and don't destroy many gems. Just gets better as you grow with the game though. So good troop, but can probably wait if you're not high level already. No one too amazing there. And a goblin, a shaman there, another goblin. Right, so let us now observe the mythical troops. That's where we're going. Right, let's have a look at the who we got first. We have these ones are here all the time, same as the weapons. Not going to go over all the troops that are here on a regular basis. So first up we have Guardian of Law. Annoying. He's just annoying. He's probably got the combined most spell and damage reduction from skulls in the game. I can't think of anybody right now that's got more combined than this. Reduce damage from spells by 80%. 80? That's nuts. If you normally do 100 damage, it's gonna be 20. He's going to say, "'Twas a mere flesh wound." And holy armor is not bad either. Reduce damage from skulls by 40%. Very cool. And I quite like the spell. Choose one. Deal magic-based true damage to a chosen enemy, death mark them and drain their mana, or deal the same amount of normal damage to all other enemies. Very, very good indeed. I do like him, but he's kind of tactical. And a bit of an annoyance. He can be annoying. So we have Topasath. Topasath is the dragon on rotation this week. If you're after Diamantina still, then this is the one. This is the one you need to finish off that set. To continue your path to getting Diamantina, it's certainly worth picking up. I was just thinking, some people was thinking it's still worth getting Diamantina when you get Stellarix and Chrysanthrax as well. And I still like Diamantina, because I do like the Bone Storm. The start of battle and reduce damage from the skulls by 55% and give 2 magic to all allies when matching skull gems is alright. Doesn't do anywhere near the damage of Stellarix or Chrysanthrax though, so you know, player's choice whether you decide to pick up a Diamantina or not. It is nice to have the set of dragons, but obviously if you do that, you're slowing down what you do with the rest of them. And yeah, player's choice. But Topasath is here if you've only got one dragon to go to finish off the set. That's the only time I would do this kind of thing, spending all that extra Dragonite, because it does guarantee it, and if you don't guarantee it, you could open those eggs, those dragon eggs, and still get yet more duplicates, which is really, really annoying. So I know what I would do, but it is a player's choice. And who's the next mythic? We have a Pan. Pan, he is not a man. Wham, old Ram song. And it wasn't even Pan, it was man. No, it wasn't, it was Wham. Oh my goodness. Anyway, deals magic-based damage to 3 random enemies and knocks them to the back. So bash them around a bit, jumbles them all up and says, "Take that, you lot." Is impervious. Impervious is not as good as it used to be due to the prevalence of curse these days. And Totem of the Veil is alright. All wild folk allies gain 1 life and magic when matching 4 or more gems. So yeah, well, it's alright. It's alright. Nothing fantastic though. But Phoenicia, really good. One of the best early player troops in the game. You get this nice and early in the game, it can really help you as a newer player. And still effective as a experienced player too. There'll still be plenty of times when I chuck Phoenicia into a team based on certain restrictions. Does magic +1 damage to all enemies, boosted by red gems and burning enemies. And if there's a firestorm, deal double damage. So really, really good. Get that firestorm, and there's classes where you can have that as a guaranteed thing every single round, and you can get that double damage guaranteed when you cast a Phoenicia. Really, really cool. Gain 1 magic for each red ally. She's immune to burning and fairy fire herself, and 50% chance to burn a random enemy at the start of her turn. So yeah, Phoenicia, absolutely fantastic still. Voice of Orpheus. When Elementalists first come out, I said this guy was like the perfect counter to Elementalist, and it still is in a way. I mean, sure, you can still counter Elementalist in different ways now though, with things like the Wand of Stars and stuff like that. But this guy's still really good for defending against Elementalist teams when you can. And it's all to do with the combination of Impervious and Adagio. Impervious makes him immune to all status effects, Devour, Lycanthropy and Mana Burn, therefore is unaffected by the Elementalist Stun Burn, Burn Freeze and Entangle. But the fact that he cleanses all allies when matching yellow gems is super, super cool. Just simply match yellow. You don't even have to get like Wand of Stars up and cast it if you've got it, or find another way. There's other troops that do a cleanse on all allies. For example, High Priestess Chazka, she blesses all allies, which is like a super cleanse. It's a cleanse with basically making them impervious, but it's part of her spell, so you have to charge her up first. This is just like match yellow and cleanse all allies. Really, really cool. So very good. The spell's nothing fantastic, but he's absolutely superb just for that Adagio versus Elementalist teams. But there are other ways to battle Elementalist these days, so he's not as essential for that as he used to be. Was that 4 or did I miss someone out? Voice of Orpheus, Phoenicia, Pan, yeah, and Matey Boy with the high spell damage reduction. So let's now go over the legendaries. Starting off with Keeper of Souls. This is a good troop as well. Transform all gems of a chosen colour to skulls. Fantastic, and a skull-based team. Absolutely lethal stuff, especially if you've got somebody up top that's doing extreme damage on skulls and things like that. Absolutely awesome. Is the Keeper of Souls. Scylla. Damage to the last enemy with a 25% chance to kill them and submerge all other allies. And creates a bone storm on 4 or 5 gem matches. I'm not surprised when she's going into battles like that and she gives her head a little wiggle, flicks her hair out of the way, causes a bit of a distraction, causes a bone storm, and that is where I'm leaving that. I'm not going any further with that conversation. I refuse! I will not fall to these lower levels of depravity. He says. Holy Astra. Oh dear. It's non-stop today. Give magic +1 life and armor to all allies. Create a light storm and enchant all humans. So really, really good troop. And that all human allies start with 50% mana is awesome too, as well as reduce damage from spells by 25%. She's human herself, so she gets a 50% start. Pairs amazingly well with troops like Tesla, who is always also human, so a 50% start there. And not only human, so Tesla gets the nice 50% start as well, but the increasing of armor basically increases Tesla's spell as well. So yeah, fantastic pairing. No, I didn't say fantastic pair. I said fantastic pairing. And I meant fantastic pairing with Tesla. Right. Okay. What have I drunk this morning? Something's making me go a bit freaky. Like I'm sort of fiend. Anyway, Servius does damage to all enemies boosted by burning and enraged allies and enemies, and a 50% chance to burn a random enemy at the start of my turn. Is okay. So some decent mythics there and some really, really good legendaries as well to pick from. But who gets my mythic of the week? Guardian Law is good, but he's not quite mythic of the weak territory unless he's up against the worst ones in the game. But he is annoying. You don't see him much as you know, a genuine attack troop, but you just see him in teams sometimes you think he's there just to annoy you. He's annoying. But Pan is alright. Voice of Orpheus is not as essential as it used to be for the Elementalist counter. So it kind of has to go to Phoenicia. Still a fantastic, fantastic troop. Damage to all enemies, boosted by red and burning. If there's a firestorm, you can get this in Sunspear class, and then you can deal double damage every single time she casts. Absolutely amazing. Phoenicia, my mythic of the week. Now onto the Tower of Doom team. Now you must use the event weapon, the Doomed Arbalest, in your team to pick up that ×2 score. It is for this event only, but absolutely essential you pick that up and use it in your team. You get it from the shop at tier 4, there it is, but it's all good because all the previous tiers are super useful anyway. Tier 1, you pick up the Potion of Enchantment. Enchants all allies at the start of battle for this event only. You pick up a bit more gold and some more Doom Sigils and some troops too. Tier 2, a bit more the same, but you also pick up the Potion of Explosion, exploding 4 gems at the start of battle, giving your team a really quick start. Combines really well with that Potion of Enchantment. Tier 3, Potion of Rejuvenation is included. Heal 3 damage to all allies at the start of your turn. Also applies to this event only. And you get more stuff as well, but this is where you start picking up the Ice Forge Scrolls, which are used to temper up your blue doomed weapons. And at tier 4, you get more stuff. You get a Potion of Armor as well. Reduce damage from skulls by 25%. Really, really cool. More Forge Scrolls, more Doom troops, more random troops, and the Doomed weapon as well. So really, really cool. So make sure you get at least up to tier 4. Right, so let's take a look at a team for this. I'm going to show you a really, really easy way to do this and how we can actually change this up a little bit to benefit more from the colours we generate. And again, no mythic. Do like to show these no mythic teams. Even the teams for this using mythics sometimes won't be as good as something like this. For this, we're going to go with 3 times Medals of Guard. That's the ones that give +8, I think it is, armour to all troops. And that's useful because a Tesla, oops, if I can press the right button, does 8 true scatter damage boosted by all ally and enemy armour. Said this a lot, but a lot of people are new to the channel, so I've got to go over it again. So the higher your armour, the higher the enemy's armour, the more true scatter damage she does. So those Medals of Guard really help out her spell. And of course, as the enemy gets more powerful, they have more armour. which further increases Tesla's spell. So really, really powerful and good to have the two of them. You can have one of them. I'll show how you can actually benefit from just one of them in just a moment. But there's the doomed weapon. We have to have it in the team. We'll have it at the front for this one to actually protect our armor, because of course the higher our armor, the more damage we're going to do. So important to protect the armor of our team as much as possible, and that comes into play in a minute. Queen Bee is here. You can even have 3 times Tesla if you want, but it's just you're going to have to wait for the potion of enchantment to get them charged up. But Queen Bee can be useful in a few ways. Cleanse all allies when matching 4 or more gems. Creates 9 green and 9 brown gems, then deals magic-based true scatter damage, and there are independent 40% chances to gain an extra turn and half her mana back. So that chance of that extra turn from the second part of the spell, as well as the potential to get a 4 match when you cast her, as well as generate loads of green and brown. The green will potentially fill up herself again and get to do it again. And the brown you think is kind of wasted, but it's not, because when you match a brown, we're in Elementalist class and you pick Rock Solid, you get a barrier when matching brown gems. So by employing Queen Bee into this team, you can get a non-stop barrier at the same time, which is super, super useful. And in Elementalist class, we can stun, freeze, burn, and entangle a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems, which is really, really good and important on the higher stages. I don't know if we're going to end up casting the weapon that often, because obviously we're doing true damage with these, so it's just there as a protector of our armor, really. Like I say, we'll be keeping on getting the barrier with this when we collect brown, so we're going to get a barrier to protect our armor to increase Tesla's damage. So good for that. You can actually like change it around a little bit as well, and actually have 2 Queen Bees and 1 Tesla if you want, or you can have 2 and 1. But there's other ways to go about this as well with these troops and still be keeping it no mythic. We can have, where is he? If you only got 1 Tesla, there's a couple of ways you can really increase Tesla's damage output. You can either go Royal Engineer, like that, and Royal Engineer gives armor to all allies, summons a random mech, then creates 3 bomb gems. What's really cool about him is he also gains bonus red from red gem matches, which is really good for Tesla because she uses red. But the extra armor to all allies substantially increases Tesla's damage output, which is cool. And it has a summon built in as well, which is nice. And it uses brown, which means that Queen Bee, we get full benefit from this now. Create 9 green and brown gems. All the green feeds into herself. The brown gives ourselves a barrier and also charges up a Royal Engineer, who gives a load of armor to all allies, and that increases Tesla's damage output. Do you see? There is yet another way we can make this really cool as well, and that is by chucking in somebody like Mistmother. This does delve into the mythic category now, but this is a really good thing to do if you can. Chuck in Mistmother. Fairy Fire all enemies when matching 4 or more gems. A Fairy Fire troop afflicted with Fairy Fire takes 50% extra damage from damaging spell effects, and a cumulative 10% chance to recover each turn. So basically, if you chuck that in, say, in space of, I don't know, Queen Bee or Royal Engineer, your choice really, but we'll chuck it in there. It's all about maximizing power. And basically, we get a 4 match. The enemies are going to be Fairy Fired. When we cast Tesla, we're going to stick 50% on top of what she does anyway. That is absolutely lethal. But if you haven't got that, you can chuck in a Queen Bee, as we said, and benefit from the extra armor from this, and from Queen Bee doing all our lovely Queen Bee stuff. But let's stick it to no mythic for the video. So we'll chuck in Queen Bee, because this is still going to be really good for this anyway. In fact, I might even do it with 1 Tesla, just to show how effective it's going to be. Because this is a really, really nice combination. Let's check I've got the right banner for this. No, we have not got the right banner for this anymore. So we like blue. Blue is our favourite. Don't want minus red though. Don't want minus brown though. Is there anything that's ideal for this? That's better than a kick in the whatsits. Might have to settle for that. Yes, that will have to do. Yeah, it's fine though. That's alright. Alright, so let's jump in and have a battle. No mythic and very powerful. Remember, as your guild collects boons as well, you're going to actually increase the power of your team anyway. But the combination of this should be very, very effective indeed. As a no mythic team. Like I say, you can even go 2 Teslas, 3 Teslas, player's choice. No red. We'll collect blue then. They created some red for us, very generous. Killed in by accident. Accidents do happen. As soon as Tesla's up. I mean, in the early stages, you can actually probably put Tesla at the top because the games are super easy. Therefore, she's going to get first dibs on the blue and red. And we are in a unlock in room 2 here. So every set of rooms is different for every guild, so don't follow what I'm doing here. The way this works is Tower of Doom, you normally have a player or 2 or 3 who are scouts. They go around unlocking all the rooms and basically use your own chosen method of telling the guild what is in each room, and then you unlock the important ones like the fireball scrolls, the haste scrolls, the luck scrolls, things like that, and of course the unlock scroll to let us, what should we do? Get rid? Why not? Queen Bee's up, look. It's always handy when Tesla is slow to charge. That's why it's good to have as many different mana colours in your team as possible. Often hear people saying, look, they did bad because, oh, I didn't have any gem drops, they didn't give me the colours. It's kind of your fault. Because the idea of a good team is not only to pick a good team that's really powerful, but also to maximise the use of as many different colours as you can. Therefore, the game can't kind of rip you off or whatever and say didn't give me any gem matches. If you use all the colours, if you can use all the colours, I'm not saying it's always possible, but if you can, then the game can't rip you off. Do you see? Well, jumped forward to floor 6, but absolutely still mega plain sailing with this. And of course there are other options as well along the mythic and immortal route. If you've got like Tax Shaka, you can even go 3 times Tax Shaka, combine that with weapon. That's going to be really, really good. Self-charging the team a lot of the time, really cool. And a lot of the immortals are available as well. And a lot of these are going to be super, super effective for this. Like Immortal Selene, true damage, 3 random enemies. Can finish them off. This is like really good if you start facing submerged troops in the game, because these can target those submerged enemies at the same time, same as Attack Shaka. This is the only reason where this team we've got now can come a little bit unstuck with Tesla and Queen Bee is if you face some submerged enemies. But yeah, stuff like Immortal Glacier, Immortal Selene, absolutely fantastic for this. So do consider the Immortals if you've got them, and even he says Tax Shaka as well, as if Tax Shaka is not a good idea at the best of times if you got it. Right, let's just do a few more with this, because this is going to blitz through this Tower of Doom without any shadow of a doubt at all. And it's like, unless you go really, really high levels, this is going to be absolutely fine. It's been a bit mean to us on our colours we want. I mean, you can always get brown, like that, get the barrier, look. That skull does nothing then. So right now, this Tesla does 328 damage. Let's get this boost from this, and then let's take a look at it. Let's then do that, make them think they're doing good. Got to 408. Really, really cool. We'll do that just because I don't want them to whack me back. We've got the Potion of Enchantment, gets this charged up, and kaboosh them all out of there in one mighty wallop. Right, so where are we going next? We are going to... We've done floor 3. Oh, the unlocked scroll is in this room. Like I say, this is for our guild only, North Star. Locations of the different scrolls does vary on every single guild. Well, that was a not a bad little start, was it? I'm not going to say no to that or that. See you later. Tesla. So good. She's only legendary, but it's like... She's actually beyond mythic in the game. If there was like a next level above mythic, and obviously there is, because there's immortals, well, she'd be like uber mythic, if you know what I mean. It's just one of those troops. It's just so, so good. It's just nuts. Let's grab a little bit of that then. Yeah. You give me that little slap round of chops on it. Mine, I can take it. Might as well do that then. Being though it's been mean in my colours. Really mean in my colours. What the heck? Queen Bee is up. That's the good thing about the Potion of Enchantment, the way it works. And this one's going to be all about Queen Bee. So even if it's mean to you on the way that Tesla works with power and stuff, like Queen Bee can come along and steal the show. Awesome stuff. Jumped forward to floor 10, still an absolute walk in the park. The unlock scroll is here, so let's get this ready and then we'll do the room 4 afterwards, because there's a fireball scroll in there. Fireball scroll is really, really useful. So let's grab ourselves some red for Tesla. And a bit more red. Everybody will soon be dead. Now, if you get to the point where, like now, the boost is 264. And let's do a little bit quick maths. 8, 16, 24. We're still going to wipe out in a single go. But if you're not going to wipe out in a single go, then just charge up Royal Engineer. Cast that first, give yourself a nice boost, and you can finish them off that way to get the extra power. Particularly useful if you're a newer player to get to the game, because obviously my armor is quite high, so therefore I'm dishing out a decent amount of damage. Let's go pick up this fireball scroll, and Queen Bee would be ready soon as well because of the way the potion of enchantment works, and she can be ready to back up and finish off any stragglers. So yeah, really cool. I'm going to grab that just to get the barrier. And a Skull Bash at the same time. Not that we really want to Skull Bash them because it takes away their armor, which affects the way Tesla works. But we've still got none of our colours really, so we're going to have to go on, be annoying. And get out of it. Right, so let's show this in action then, exactly what I just said about. So right now, 368, we're still going to probably do enough maybe, but if you don't want to do any complicated maths, you don't have to, you can just cast this first. Now going up to 449. I think they're going to die, but if anybody did survive or they got summoned, then Queen Bee is on hand to finish off. So this is still absolutely blitzing through. Let's do this and then we'll show the Underspire team. Really good way to do this, no mythic with this. Like I say, there is the option to chuck in Mr. Mother as well in place of Queen Bee or Royal Engineer if you wanted. That lovely Fairer going to give a nice 50% boost to damage. And we'll get green anyway because that's good for Queen Bee. Oh, they're about to do that. That'd be annoying. So let's see if we win. We did. Oh well, it's still a bit too easy. Whatever. But anyway, there it is. That's the Tower of Doom team absolutely blitzing through like a knife through butter. Right now onto the Underspire team. 3 times nicer for this. If you've only got 2 times nicer, for example, then chuck in a Medal of Anu to give your other troops a little head start on mana. But let's take a look at this. Really good team this. I quite like this team in regard efficiency and things like that. Efficiency because as was said in the video on the Tower of Doom, sometimes it's not just down to luck when you're collecting mana for your troops. If you use all the colours, the game can't rob you of not giving you any matches. That's what some players complain about. So, oh, how can you win when the game didn't give me mana colours? Well, use all the mana colours then. That's the key. Try and use as many mana colours as you can. And up top here as a weapon, we've got the Fox Fang using yellow and brown. We've got Spirit of Luck here using blue and purple, and Foxfire King using green and red. So all 6 colours employed. So no matter what colours are there, we are going to benefit from them. 2 times Foxfire King if you can. Choose one, deal 70 or magic +1 true damage to all enemies. That's the one we're going to be going for pretty much all the time. And a 50% chance to inflict fairy fire on a random enemy when matching red gems. Really cool. With 2 of these, that's 2 separate 50% chances. So if you're lucky and the odds go your way, that's going to happen pretty much every single time we collect red. Obviously, it won't work out that way, but it might. And that true damage is going to be absolutely lethal. Spirit of Luck. This is the thing that's in the Glory Shop at the moment, so everybody can get this. Starts battles with 25% mana. Immune to Mana Burn, Mana Drain, and Mana Steal, and gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell. Choose one. Give magic +2 life to an ally, then bury them. Or, this is the thing we'll be doing the most, create 10 gems of a chosen ally's mana colour, then enchant them. So we'll be doing that on the Foxfire King. We got this as a mana generator as well as a extra bonus giver. Exploding magic +1 green gems, really good for our Foxfire King. Give a random status effect to all Valpacia allies, that's the whole team. And summon a Valpacia troop. If you want to play it uber safe, you can actually change them around like that. So if you got unlucky and lost your top troop, then you can summon one in. So yeah, we can absolutely go about it this way if you so desired. Going to have a +2 green woodland banner for this. Good for our Foxfire King. And going to be in Spirit Walker class for this. Reduce damage from spells by 25%. Gain 2 life for Wargear. Be a Wargear and Fae in this team. And Spirit Drain, really handy. Drain 2 mana from a random enemy when an ally casts a spell. And as regard talent trees, we can have stuff like Resilience, Purification, can have a Root Trap, Entangle the first enemy at the start of battle, very handy indeed. Mana Source, starters battles with 50% mana, really good for getting that weapon charged quickly. Healing Herb, gain 4 life when matching green gems, we're going to be doing that a lot. Nature's Will, gain bonus green from green gem matches, and we can have Harvest Moon. All Wargear allies gain 2 life every turn. So very handy indeed. Right, so let's jump in there, have a little go at this. Should be fairly straightforward. Of course, troops like Stellarix from Valpatia as well, so if you got that, you can chuck him in there. Have a little look around for double drops. What I mean by double drop is, like, don't take that, it's just brown. If you take this yellow, we're going to get yellow and brown at the same time, and that charges up the weapon in this instance, and we can blow up them green gems, get status effects, get our team charged up nice and quickly. There's some red for our Foxfire King. And we can kaboosh them all out of there. First option, true damage to all enemies. Bish bash bosh. Give me your dosh. And go about your business. It doesn't rhyme at all. Who cares? Right, anyway, get the lantern from Matey Boy Greenface. Thank you very much, mate. Be on your way. And we'll go onwards and upwards, quite literally, to the next room. Like I say, Stellarix really good for this. Just will take a little bit of time to get charged. I suppose we can do that. They were root trapped, so you can actually leave that kind of thing for the enemy. And they're root trapped. That was... I thought I left him a skull here then. That was a little bit clumsy. What else we got? Not much. I suppose we can get this going. Let's see how this works. Right, so there's a lot of green there. So if we go for the second option. Oh, see, I read that. Create 10 gems of a chosen ally's mana colour. Oh, so it's random. Interesting. Right, so I said that earlier. You can't do it that way. I read that as you can choose that, or create 10 gems of a chosen ally's mana colour. It's not as random. So you've got to be careful there. If there was like a very low amount of red on the screen as well, that could have been a bit of an iffy cast. So that weapon, not quite as good, or troop, not quite as good as I very first imagined. Still good though. I mean, if there's a good amount of red and green there in this instance, still pretty decent. Right, let's get some of that green for our Foxfire King. Any red now? We'll be ready to go. You're on your way. So yeah, certainly going to be okay, this team, for particularly the early stages. Obviously it gets harder as things go on. Ooh, misses. We'll have that just because it's there, and we'll use brown anyway. So let's get the weapon up. Give that a cast. Lots of mana gens. Green everywhere. Status effects. Summon if you need it. True damage option all the way. On damage to all. And bash them out of there. Right, might as well make this the last one. I haven't even got around to casting the second Foxfire King yet. So, yeah, really handy. And of course, when you match those red, you do get that 50% chance to inflict Fairy Fire at the same time. So we'll match red like that by collecting the other mana colour first. And we'll get more red that way. That bottom troop has been Fairy Fired, as has the second one. So they'll take extra damage if they wouldn't have died straight away, which they're going to anyway. And that is that. So there it is. There's the video. The Soulforge, the Tower of Doom team, and the Underspire team. If you enjoyed it, found it useful and helpful, but it would be really cool if you shared it around and done things like that. It really helps the channel out. But thanks for watching, and bye for now.